You're listening to the Rich Mob Podcast, where we define what rich is. Our goal is to enrich the health, wealth, and relationships of our subscribers. I'm your host, Raymond Quick, so let's get started. What up, mobsters? It's the boy, Raymond Quick, the richest man in Baltimore, and welcome to episode 6 of the Rich Mob Podcast. Where today we're going to be discussing health as our topic. But just to do a quick recap, for those of you who haven't seen the first couple episodes, in episode 1 we discussed relationships, the importance of relationships, how to have better relationships, and then how to have the most important relationship, which is the one with yourself. Episode 2 we discussed insurance, and we part of that with part 2 of that episode, we discussed some ways that you can get into the financial markets and start investing. Episode 3 was all about contribution and how you can, contribute to others and make an impact in other people's life. And then here we're going to discuss health. So I'm excited about this episode. But before we go into it, I want to introduce our new co-host, the Rich Mob Podcast, new co-host, Emon. Y'all show us some love real quick. So before I even explain, before we see goes into that, I want to tell y'all exactly why I chose Emon. Well, first of all, one thing that we all got in common is we all went to the same high school. We all went to Milford Mills, so shout out to the Milford Millers.
Yeah, full circle moment for real.
Yeah, for sure. So this is just a cool experience to be sharing this platform with people that went to the same school as me. We had that in common, but I also, to me, and I think most men would agree on this, that the greatest way that I receive love is through respect. Just respect is the way that, for me, that's the way that someone can show that they care for me or care about me. And so Emon and I were actually, Emon actually joined my network marketing business. I think it was in 2015, around that time. Mm-hmm. And I was in a company called ACN. I was doing really well. I had made a lot of money. My name got all over the world, like all over the country, I would say. Made a lot of money, was driving fancy cars, living in fancy homes, and I did a lot of stuff in my early 20s that most people, would only had dreamed of. I can really say that I had accomplished most of my dreams in my early 20s. And I faced a lot of hardship in my 20s. With that came a lot of hardship. I lost both of my parents, people that I was closer to, found myself in depression, deep, dark depression. And one day I woke up, and I would never forget this day. I woke up, and I didn't realize how I had got where I was, but I was homeless. And I remember just looking at my phone, having no money, not really realizing how I got here. But it just, it wasn't something that happened overnight. It was something that started happening over time when I just, lost my effectiveness in my business and just in life in general. And I ended up getting a job at a gym, UFit Gym. Shout out to UFit Gym. That gym was holding me down back in them days when it was a 24-hour gym. Mm-hmm. So I would go to work during the day, and I had a night job at the gym. So I would clean the gym at night, sleep there, wake up, go to work the next day. And one of the things I used to say was, man, I hope nobody runs into me when I'm at this gym, mopping the floor or wiping down the treadmills or whatever the case may be, right? And lo and behold, one day I'm mopping the floor, and I turn around and I see Emon. And I'm like, oh, shit. But she saw me, and I know she saw me mopping the floor. When she saw me, she greeted me, just like she did back in them ACN days. She said, "What's up, Mr. Quick?" And I told her that she was braiding my hair one day, and I said, "You don't know how much that lifted my spirit in that time. It was really just, because I don't respect money. I respect people who have character, people who have been through things, people that have integrity, and nothing was given to me. I earned everything I had, but the same way I earned it, I lost it. You can be effective in some time in your life, and you can be ineffective in another time. But a lot of people lost respect for me because I lost material things. But what I had gained going through that stuff really was making me into a person that was way more valuable than a person who had things that people value so much. And I just want to tell you, again, and on the camera, how much that meant to me, how much I appreciate you. And this is just the beginning of many ventures and partnerships that we're going to have. So shout out to you. Let's clap it up for E-Money.
Thank you
know what I'm saying? So go ahead and introduce yourself to the people.
So I am Emon. Most of y'all who do watch the podcast already know. I'm a hairstylist.
That's
you
right.
can check me at D9 Studio. no underscores, no extra letters, no extra numbers on Instagram. I'm on booksy.com. That is d9studio.booksy.com. Book with me. I do all natural hairstyles. This a new venture. What's gonna come from this, I don't know, but we got a lot more coming. But I'm excited for it, and I appreciate you having me.
Absolutely.
And I appreciate you always showing me love and respect throughout the years. It's never been no sideways stuff. Never,
Absolutely.
well, Raymond funny acting because he got money now. Da, 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 da. Bad, clean suits. He was still the same person. That's why when I saw him in the gym, it was like, why wouldn't I greet you any other way than how I usually did? Just because you got a mop in your hand don't change who you are on the inside.
Absolutely.
And I'm the same way. Like, money means nothing. It's a lot of you Baltimore famous males out here, I ain't gonna say no names,
Talk to him.
that think because you got money, you supposed to get attention, all this from females just because you got money. But nah, that ain't the case.
That ain't it.
Not at all.
Money ain't enough. Say that. That's what I like
Nah.
to say. Hold on real quick. We're going to double take that. We're going D9 Studio. All right. If you got natural hairstyle, we know she don't do starter locks.
Yeah, no.
She don't do starter locks.
I ain't get that
But
yet.
you need the retwist, holla at your girl, all right? If you
Yeah.
just getting a braid, and by the way, she does my kids' hair. She always got us looking right. So
Yes,
make
sir,
sure you
yes,
go
sir,
to
yes,
D9
sir.
Studio. And if you're in the Richmond community and you live in Baltimore, I expect you to support the folks that I bring on the podcast. All right. So shout out to E. I'm excited. We're gonna have a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah.
All right, the next person we're going to introduce, obviously, he outdressed us today. All right, had no clue he was going to drag on us like this.
Right, I said, all right.
But Neville's also somebody I came in closer contact to in my ACN days. I believe I met you through Alan.
Yes, sir.
Right,
Yes, sir.
shout out to Alan, man. Got love for Alan, man. Alan is my guy. But yeah, man, I've seen you transform, and I've seen you, one for sure, take this industry by storm and really take it seriously, man.
Yeah,
So
man.
first of all, let's just go ahead and introduce yourself, and then we'll go into some questions.
Well, yeah, as the public knows, I am Nev with Alkaline Bodies. That again is Alkaline Bodies. It's a Baltimore local indigenous health company. We've been in business for about 8 years, going hard now in Baltimore as far as the health industry. I can give you a little rundown on what we do.
Yeah, go ahead, do that.
So, in Alkaline Bodies, we do various different topics, plant-based food, health and wellness coaching. We actually just activated a monitoring program for our actual clients to pretty much make sure the regimens that they do get when they get a bioscan, they can actually follow through. A lot of people start like New Year's, new test, new me, and then they want to stick with their plans. So we got to make sure these people actually figure these goals out and actually stick with it.
Accountability.
But our major thing that we do here at Alkaline Bodies is a bioscan. So we got a bioscan that gives you a 100-page report on your body from trace elements, minerals, gastric health, all the way down to gynecology, prostate, hair, skin. It's a full 100-page report on your body, and we're able to pretty much dissect that and give you like a cleaner, a healthier start for your life.
Okay, so I'm go ahead and be upfront with you. I haven't done the bioscan with Neville yet, and I do plan, but I have actually done one before. And those of you who've been following me, y'all see I'm in the gym all the time, right? I
2
work out.
days and all. Different.
Yeah, I love the gym. Actually, and I was speaking on that part I talked about in the beginning when I was, living in the gym at the time. I found myself in the gym because that was the thing that I could control. Like, I could control me being there, what I was doing when I was in there, and it was a positive way. That it was something that was benefiting me that I had complete control of. So if you haven't been working out, if you don't know what to do in the gym, if you just lost and you need accountability, this is what this community is about. You want to join the Richmond community because we touch on all three major aspects of life: health, health, wealth, and fitness. Health, wealth, and relationships. And if you join our coaching program, you can do that by going to my website at raymondquick.com. Every week, we're going to have people like Neville, myself, other thought leaders coming to the space to just pour into you, providing different resources and tools, and then holding you accountable. That is the biggest thing that people need today. We live in a generation or no time where there's a lot of information. You can Google and YouTube and find all the information you want, but if you don't have community and you don't have someone to hold you accountable, that's what most times most people fall through. So, Neville, I got some questions here for you, and you anytime you want to chime in, you can throw some questions. I know you told me you had some things you wanted to discuss with them.
Yes,
So my first question is, in your experience, what's a big misunderstanding that most people have about health?
Well, health isn't a trend. Health isn't an idea, and health isn't something that you can think of one day I want to start doing. Health is bigger than culture. Health is more so along the lines of air and water. Like health is like the beginning and end of life. So love starts with health, and it's going to end with health. Even the richest man has to worry about his health. So we try to put health and we try to drill that in our clients. Like health has to be your forefront. This isn't just something I'm gonna try to eat healthy. Like even the concept of I'm eating healthy, that shouldn't even be in our vocabulary. You see what I'm saying? Health is a culture. You know, every culture around us, they can see their health and their culture on their plate. You see what I'm saying? They can look at their plate and see exactly their origin and their culture. So it should be bigger than what we kind of treat it as. For real.
That's well said. Well put.
Good question. With that being said, do you think that culture, no matter what the culture is, can be a detriment to your health?
Yes, it definitely can, because you know, I'm not saying anything improper.
Soul food ain't good for you.
Yes.
Oh
like,
man.
Yes.
Not fried chicken.
Come on, don't do that.
Not the collard
But but even saying that, the fried chicken, the collard greens, we gotta understand. You know, that's not our culture. That was something that was learned. You see what I'm saying? Like you can't sit here and say that death on that plate is something that kept our ancestors alive, fit and well. You know, I can get into the slavery stuff and all that stuff, but I'm not going to really touch on it. It's a health conversation, but still, when we look at the cornbread, mac and cheese and stuff, when we look at the high diabetes, the high blood pressure, we got to see how these things correlate.
Absolutely.
So when we look at culture, we got to understand a lot of the culture that we following is a deaf culture. You see what I'm saying? So we just got to wake up out of that.
No, that's real.
Yeah.
That's real. And that goes to, you know, us making decisions today that feel good. You know, pleasure is that in the moment thing. When you eating that cornbread, fried chicken, macaroni, cheese, collard greens,
When you eating that large fry from Chick-fil-A.
and it's busting in the moment, but you know it's working on you 10 years down the road. You know,
Indeed.
and it's not. And I had a mentor. Actually, it's a book that I suggest anybody read. It's called The Compound Effect. I believe it's by a guy named Darren Hardy, if I'm not mistaken. But the book, he talks about how, you know, eating a donut today isn't going to kill you today, but that the compound effect that eating a donut once a week or a couple donuts a day or every day, or that person, I mean, it has an effect over you long term.
Yes, indeed.
So I could see how the culture, I mean, you know, we having soul food dinners and eating fast food every day. And, you know, I'm not one of the people that eat like that, but there was a time I did, and I wasn't seeing the effects of it at the time. But once I started realizing, like, man, I'm not going to be young forever. Well, you know, this is going to catch up with me. I had to start getting my life together for sure.
Yeah, we gotta understand what our bodies are made of and what our bodies are actually here doing. Like, you gotta see that plate has to make new minerals inside your body. It has to make new skin cells, new hair cells. It has the tissues for your heart. You can't tell me you want to make your. I mean, you gotta look at people. Look at people. Look at their reactions. Look at their current health, and look at what they're eating, and see exactly how it matches up. So, food is bigger than it just tastes good. Like it's medicine, it's healing, it's curing. And you gotta try to, you know, think about your longevity when it comes to health. To be honest, you know.
I like that. Next question. If you had to eat one meal for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Damn. Something definitely with curry in it, for sure.
Okay. So we can have curry.
Yes, curry.
Okay.
Yes, curry.
Talk to us about this meal. I'm interested.
I make so much food. I'm thinking of something along the lines of probably curry, coconut, chickpeas, rundown stew. And I normally use real coconuts for that too as well. I'm just, I got that, Jamaican background, so I love some curry.
I was
for
about to
real.
ask. That's where you should
Shout out
come
my boy
from.
Dejan.
That's how you do it for real.
That's what's up. Okay, so I ain't gonna lie, that did not sound appetizing to me at all. I'm gonna be honest with you.
I put
Now
that together.
I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna try it though. See, I learned to try things,
Yes,
before I just say.
Right.
See, there's this. I believe there's a misconception that eating healthy means you eat nasty, that it don't taste good.
It's
Yes.
boring.
Yeah. So,
Mhm.
I mean, can you? Is there some truth to that?
No. Listen, I eat everything like nothing changed. I eat pizza, cheesecakes, lasagnas, everything. I make it from scratch. You see what I'm saying? Like, the whole idea of eating healthy is nasty is because when we think of eating healthy, we think of vegans. And vegans, they're using the fake meat and all the, the standard vegan diets and the standard meals that's been around for years. And people equate that stuff to a salad. when you think of eating healthy.
That's
You
the first
see
thing that
what
popped
I'm
in my
saying?
head. Salad. That's
Salad,
it.
man. A salad's probably the last thing I eat for the day. You see what I'm saying? So I still eat well balanced. You know, I'm able to still have that energy. You know, to be a high optimum human being. You see what I'm
I
saying?
like
So,
that.
you
High
know,
optimum human being.
that's
I like that a lot. That's some good marketing, a
Yeah, that
lingo
was a
right
good one.
there.
That was a good one.
For sure.
So, do you feel as though eating affects your aura? It affects your mood. It affects your thoughts.
Come
Like,
through with
what's
the good questions.
let's dig into that because a lot of our people don't know like those missing minerals and vitamins that you don't have. Those deficiencies affect you, and women as well. Like a lot with those menstrual cycles, like losing iron, like the way we do. Like it's a high. A lot of black women have that deficiency as far as iron and vitamin D. Vitamin D. So what do you feel as though we can change or work on as far as knowing the minerals and vitamins that we need because it affects everything.
Yeah, so if you know what you need, you got to see what foods you can achieve that from and consistently stay within it. Well, especially with females and their menstrual cycles, if you're having a period that's longer than 5 to 6 days, heavy bleeding with heavy pain, that's not really like normal.
And Paul, before you get attacked in probably the comments and stuff, just because he's a male, I do know he doesn't get a menstrual, ladies.
How
However,
is he supposed to know?
he might know some things, okay?
The only reason I say that is because I had a lot of I only get female clients. You see what I'm saying? Men, once in a blue moon, if
Men
that.
don't take their health
You see
seriously
what
till
I'm
it's too
saying?
late.
Yes. I've seen it. Now with the female, it's all about the balanced diet. You can't say, hey, you're expecting a normal period when your balanced diet is cups of noodles and hot fries. And we, as people, as black people in general, people of our nature, like we don't have any consistency or any type of regimen with our diets. It's eat whatever you want to eat and just hope for the best. You see what I'm saying? So if they even took the time, you notice you start cutting out some of the high fatty, high starchy foods. You start putting the high vegetations, even with the vitamin D. You can achieve a lot of the vitamin D from the darker fruits, the black berries, the watermelon seeds, the eggplants, things that are dark in nature. The darker the berry, the darker the fruit, the higher the vitamin D too as well. So even with like moringa, stinging nettle, those are some things you can add to your diet that adds that vitamin. Not that you said iron deficiency for people that have that, especially losing it through their periods. But it's really just being consistent with your regimen, and we fall short from that. So that's why we have these outcomes of all these different conditions happening to us. So it's like, yeah, that's the major thing.
So real quick, side note, this is Chris Tucker wasn't lying when he said the blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice.
Yes, God.
He was telling the truth. Y'all ain't never seen Friday, go watch it. All right, Health 101. Chris Tucker was trying to let us know back then. So real quick, just to kind of sum that up, what are some go-to foods for a woman who's having a menstrual that's lasting too long or is too heavy? Because I've encountered a lot of women that experience that. So, and are you saying that their diet has a lot to do with that?
Yes, diet is one of the sole causes of that, and plus stress and other environmental factors. But diet is like the number one cause of that.
I would bet sleep has something to do with it too. I personally, I'm not gonna lie, one of my biggest turnoffs is what women eat sometimes.
Yes, because
I'm gonna lie, it turns me straight off.
That directly affects their sexual health. Even for me, trying to be healthy or vegan, if I'm sexually active with somebody that's eating a bunch of meat, like those carcinogens are coming onto me too as well. So I can't technically be like 100% vegan if that was my goal.
Especially if you're eating.
Yes, especially if you're eating.
Because you're eating, you know what I'm saying? You are what you eat now.
Yeah.
You feel me?
And if she eating that bacon,
this is a rated we're getting real here.
Yeah, I mean, listen.
But it's needed though.
The food we put in our body makes ourselves. Period. Keep that in notion. The plant is the only thing on this earth that can create a red blood cell. When you eat a bag of Cheetos, your body doesn't create a red blood cell from that. You see what I'm saying? So the foods that we put in ourselves are a direct connection to who we are. You got some of these girls running around here wild.
Guys too.
Wow.
We ain't letting y'all off the hook.
Yes, guys and girls, we all crazy. But even with like just the standard diet, American diet now, it's chemical warfare, bro. They're pumping our stuff with so many stuff. Men walking around
so
with
much
titties,
estrogen.
all types of stuff.
Bro, I was literally just thinking that, man. It's sad, man.
Like, you see what I'm
And
saying?
look, don't we ain't body shaming. Get in the gym. I'm telling you, it is the solution. You trying to get rid of them rolls and them breasts and all that stuff you ain't supposed to have. You got to put that pork down. I know that for a fact.
Yes.
Every health book I ever read say don't touch the pork.
Now, even with that, like the meats that we do recommend within our tribe, and that's the Aboriginal Republic of North America, we recommend salmon, bison,
Love it.
wild
Love
chilean,
it.
sea bass. You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But those are more carbonated meats. And the reason why I use the word carbon because it's a war between carbon and nitrogen base. We're carbonated beings, but we're on a nitrogen based diet, and we wonder why.
I wonder why.
You see what I'm saying? And we wonder why we have like all these conditions, gray hair, wrinkly skin. The black man sustains his life for a long period of time. You look at some of these great kings; they had 100-year plus reigns. Why isn't the life expectancy of a black man 64, 68 years old right now? Like I'm almost 30. That means I lived half my life. You see what I'm saying? That's scary.
Hey,
Man.
I'm 32. That means I got 32 years left.
you
Hold
see
on
what
now.
I'm
I'm gonna
saying?
be 30 in a couple,
I need
about 45
That's
more
what I'm
business
saying.
days.
That's
Oh
scary.
God, I
That's
need to
scary.
hold on. Let me ask you something real quick,
You
because
see.
I don't like to act like I know stuff. When I don't know something, you
Right.
just said something I don't know what you're talking about. All right, we're gonna have to bring this full circle. You said we are carbonated beings.
Yes,
All
we
right.
are carbonated.
Please,
beings.
for me and the listeners, can you make that talk that in ABC for me?
Yeah, so carbon is a chemical, just like nitrogen is a chemical on that actual chemical chart.
Yeah, that scientific, that thing they taught us in science that I never
Yes.
paid attention to.
Yes,
So
sir.
if you look at iron, zinc, copper, that's in our body. That's
Okay.
also what inside the ground too as well.
Mhm.
That's you also can find those minerals inside the universe too as well. That's how you can see our physical connection to the actual plane that we're on. Now, if you look at the actual mineral base, carbon, our skin, they like to say melanin, et cetera, et cetera. It goes deeper than that. It's the same carbon that's to the soil. That's why they like to say we're people from the earth. You see what I'm saying? We have a direct connection to this earth, and we're made up from that actual carbon. Now, to sustain that carbon, you need more carbonated beans and or nutrients and or some type of structure that you're putting inside your body to sustain that. But when you start to eat heavy starches, grains, things that break down the chemical level that produces nitrogen, it breaks down that carbon. So for instance, black rice, excuse me, not black rice, lotus forbidden black rice versus wild rice. When that breaks down, the fermentation in that rice is lower. When you break down that white rice, the fermentation is higher. You see what I'm saying? Just like with your alcohols too as well. So for instance, you may have a grain alcohol that's 30%, that's considered vegan, but it's not because of the high percentage of the fermentation rate. But you may have my alcohol I like to drink is not alcohol, excuse me, wine is called Relief. Low fermentation, green, sustainable capped wine. It's all made from berries. Has a very, very low fermentation rate. You get a buzz. You still feel that feel. You still get that health benefit too as well.
Relief.
Yes, Relief is a South African wine. It's made through sustainable berries. It's also a brand in Barbados. They make a tequila and they make a brown whiskey out of cactus and limes. And also within inside the area, they said that has been proven to help with various conditions within inside of the actual region in the world. But it's lower fermentation. It's not here. You get your Bacardis and your Cirocs and all these things that are just super high. You see what I'm saying? And the goal of it is getting drunk. It's not a health factor. Even
So refined does have a health factor.
huh?
It's refined.
It's
the wine?
Relief.
Oh, Relief. It
It's a green, sustainable, healthy wine. Is promoted to be like something that's
Oh,
healthy
you
to
done
drink.
started something now.
You see what I'm saying? But
My listeners, for all you alkies, all right, we gonna cut back this shit, all right. I know y'all been popping Bel Air,
That's calories.
drinking
that's
that
calories.
Casamigos,
That
the Strong, the
Reposado.
Henny, you know all
Yeah,
that.
the Douce.
We gonna get some relief.
yeah, it's and that's only one brand. There's a lot of other grains.
Where can we find relief?
The Relief could be in some. I know a wine spot I go to is in Pikes, right next to Trader Joe's, but they're in more so of your,
Suburban.
other areas.
Okay,
yes.
so y'all know y'all got to get out of them places with them food deserts.
Yes.
Go find you a
Yeah.
Whole Foods or a Trader Joe's,
Yes.
and they typically are near where the gyms are.
Indeed.
So find a gym. You might find you a place to get some some relief. I'm gonna check me out some too. I want to try that.
Yes,
That's
indeed.
cool, man. So
Yeah.
I got some more questions for you. Let's All right. So what's the biggest challenge that you feel like the health industry is facing right now?
All the stigmas and trends, bro. People don't know what to follow, what to do. You think of healthy, you think of keto,
Yeah.
you think of vegan, you think of I'm intermittent fasting, all these type of things. There's really no direction And when you start getting holistic, everyone wants to say Dr. Sabi. So I really feel like the health realm doesn't have anyone really focusing on the scientifical aspect of what when you put these things inside your body, what it actually does.
Mm.
Everyone is just saying, hey, follow this alkaline diet, eat these fruits and vegetables, and you'll be a-okay, which is not. It's like even down. I can go on and on and on. These are things that we're putting in our body that does a chemical reaction to us. You see what I'm saying? Even though it's a kiwi or mango or whatever, it can have the appearance of being healthy, but you have to understand exactly, is that fitted for me? You see what I'm saying? Do I need to be eating that? Where's my origin? Where did my family come from? What were my ancestors eating? You see what I'm saying? You have all of these things have to be taken into accountability, even when you're dating too as well. Where does her ancestors come from? Where's her mom from? What's inside of her genes? Like, you see what I'm saying? What does she eat? That's how my kids are being produced. You see what I'm saying? So all these things have to be taken into accountability. I really just feel like it needs to be more direction within the health field.
Yeah.
It's
I
a free
agree.
fall. It's free fall.
I agree.
Yeah.
And
The
it's-
fact you think that far as who is going to produce your children, like literally how her health affects your children, like says a lot. I doubt a lot of us think that far,
Not at all.
especially males. I'm not gonna talk about how many baby mothers people got, but it's like you gotta think a little further than just that moment or what's happening right now or that second, because when step 2 comes, that baby coming, baby shower pictures be lit. It's looking real good. The next thing you know, we got troubles with this, or the baby can't breathe this way, or a lot of women, and we already know in the health industry, black women have a higher rate of dying from childbirth. And there's a lot of health concerns we don't think about before we get to that point. If you are planning a pregnancy, I would recommend at least try to prepare your body before y'all start to plan, so you'll be able and ready to carry that child and have that child and be here for your child's life. Because I've even had someone, my coworkers, when I used to work at Comcast, she had a baby. She went through the whole pregnancy. Everything was fine. And I think she developed like a blood clot 2 weeks after the baby was born. And it traveled to her heart, and she passed away. So it's a lot more goes into it than just let's have sex and all right, here's the baby. We gotta look at the blueprint of both people first, especially what's that the gene that the somebody carries, sickle cell. If you carry that trait, like get all those type of tests done, because that does affect
Does that show up
us
in
in
the
the long
bioscan?
run.
Sickle cell doesn't show up in the bioscan, but if you were lacking in a certain amino acid and or mineral that was directly related to sickle cell, would be able to see it.
You'll be able to see that. Yeah,
Holla at Neville.
that's a important thing that you just mentioned for sure. And dang, I even thinking about that, man. It's a touchy subject, being that with wrong we going to this weekend. So it's crazy because we want to be here for our children, so we gotta be hard on ourselves and do this kind of work, so that we not passing on legacy of bad habits and poor eating and raising obese kids and people having heart issues and things of that nature. It's health is important, man. Like you said, it's definitely vital. It's not even a matter of like, this is a real deal. Should I be eating healthy? I mean, hello, come on now. This is the only body we get.
It's not a Monday,
like
Wednesday, Friday thing. Like, I'm eating grapes just them days, and then I'm gonna go crazy the rest.
It's really knocking down the psychology of the words eating healthy. This year it should be literally, that should be gone from our vocabulary.
That should be
yes.
without question.
Indeed, it should be like now. It
Mandatory.
should be, what do I need to eat? You see what I'm saying?
How can my body serve me?
Exactly.
'Cause this is the only place your soul has to go. Like, this is the house. And I'm not saying I'm one of the healthiest eaters, because Lord knows I need to get back to what I was eating. Well, a better, more fitting diet for myself. But this is your avatar. This is all you got.
Yeah.
Without this,
Fact.
you out of here.
You ain't got this. It's the only one we get, right?
Yeah.
That's why I don't play about the gym. I gotta work better on what I eat too. I got some addictions and cravings that I'm trying to put and I gotta get them right. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's something about them Cajun wings at Hook and Rail. I'm
That
trying to
lobster
tell
tail
you, boy.
basket. I'm trying. Listen, let me tell you. And the sauce, the Hook and Reel sauce that go with it.
I ain't never had the Hook and Rail sauce.
Let me tell you
Is
something,
that with
good
the
brother.
in the bowls? The
But you
bag?
can get it on the side though.
Mm.
Dip the lobster tail in. I'm trying to tell you. But Raymond don't play though. I asked him to get me some chicken tenders one day from Chick-fil-A. I said my sauces I want Polynesian, buffalo, and ranch. This man came in, I think, with just buffalo. He said, I can't feed you that ranch, good sister. I can't do that to you. So he ain't playing. Like, he gonna look out for you.
That's what's up.
He gonna hold you
I couldn't do
accountable.
it. Look, my
Right,
kids get
right.
mad at me all the time about the ranch thing, but we ain't doing it.
Yeah,
All right?
you can't do that.
Once I know better, I gotta do better.
That's
If I love
facts.
you, I'm gonna hold. You know what I'm saying? At least I ain't gonna be the one to hand it to you.
That's facts.
What's another question I got for you, Never? All right, so what's the most important lesson that you feel that you learned since you stepped into this industry?
That's interesting. Patience. I can say patience. Definitely with my clients. Patience is with the regiments. Just patience with the products too as well. Seeing their outcome, trial and error. Really, being in this health realm has definitely taught me a lot of patience and has definitely calmed my aura because I got to deal with people all day and I'm dealing with people at their worst. Like no one's coming to me like I'm healthy and I just want you to give me some recipes. They're like, nah, bro, my liver is bad. Don't want to go to the doctor. I need some tips. You got a pill? No, I got a regimen. You see what I'm saying? So that's the best.
So
thing
one of
for
your part of your prescription or part of your antidote is food.
Yes,
And that's cool. I think that is amazing. I mean, I feel like people. I don't do the medicine thing. I'm not a medicine person. You could go back to as far as when I was a kid. I ain't trying to take your pills. I don't trust none of it.
I mean, I do got them. You know, I do have pills. I do have tinctures and stuff. But for my clients, I really don't try to like force that upon them. I try to do it through the food, and if I know we can, actually achieve that, of course, some supplement and minerals need to be added. And that's another thing with eating healthy too. You can't just switch and just start eating fruits and vegetables and think you're doing your body justice. You're supposed to be getting X amount of minerals, or X amount of vitamins throughout the day. You're supposed to be getting over 2,000 calories for the day. You see what I'm saying? So we have to keep mineral and supplementation when you're talking about going completely plant-based or vegans in mind, because vegans have a high rate of cancer. Have a very high rate of cancer.
Why is that?
Because they're very under malnutrition. You see what I'm saying? A lot of them are starchitarians. A lot of them are just eating starches, black beans and rice and bread and quick this, quick that. It isn't like a set portion of equal balance of sea urchins, greens, and a lot of the stuff be collard greens, and that's stuff we don't recommend. We do Swiss chard. And if you're gonna do the kale, do dino kale or purple kale, but stay away from your regular kale. But if you go
What about Chick-fil-A kale?
I love it. This man recommended that kale crunch salad.
Bomb, you
But
hear
see,
me?
He's
.com.
wild.
Diggity.
He's
that's
wild.
the
Giggity.
thing. That's the thing. So you'll come into a vegan restaurant and you'll be like, oh crap, they got the chicken sandwich with the kale, and they got the sweet potatoes with the. I'm eating good today. I'm eating healthy. No, you just ate nothing but starch and processed like lab meat.
I actually read a book called The Gracie Diet. The Gracie family is the family that brought the UFC over to United States of America. They have a long lineage of fighters in their family. These guys live well into their late 90s, hundreds. They fight all their life. They're in great shape. And the Gracie, the father, the oldest one, the one that has he has a bunch of kids. They're all healthy, great shape, and they've got a very strict diet. But one of the things the books talk about is how important it is to eat the right foods together. And a lot of people don't talk about that. But rice and beans are never supposed to be eaten together. And that's like a typical thing that people go to, but they don't digest well,
Yes,
right?
indeed. Yes,
They're not supposed to be ate together. And most people say, hey, you go to Chipotle,
The rice and beans.
you putting them rice and beans on it. And I'm guilty of it too, but they're setting us up for failure.
Yeah, and that's what happens when you don't have a set culture, direction. Even with you said that particular family, like if you look at like the Romans, the gladiators, like their diets, they were vegans. They wasn't like meat eaters. Like that was a sacred diet. Like the sacred diet is a plant-based type of low meat fermentation and just high vegetation. So you got to figure each fruit and vegetable has electrical charge. Just like you can take a potato, you can put a negative, positive to it and get a light. You can do the same thing with all your fruits. The same thing with all your vegetables.
That's what they meant when they were showing us that when we was in science.
Yeah, that's what was going
Should have
on.
been paying attention.
It's a lot, bro. You see what I'm saying? When we eat this, we get not only the charge, but of course you get your mineral intake, you get your vitamin intake, and you get the essence of this actual living being. You see what I'm saying? So that's what we got to get.
And
to.
that's important. I think one of the major things that changed for me was when somebody put in perspective that like when you eating meat, and I'm not vegan, and I tried that. I ain't gonna lie, that to me, I work out way too much. I be about to faint and pass out because of lack of energy.
Gotta be strict.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna lie. This is something that you're gonna help me with, right? So, but when somebody put it in perspective for me that when I'm eating meat, that I'm eating death. I'm taking a dead animal and putting it into my living being,
Right.
and thinking I'm supposed to be feeling good. And I thought, I'm like, wow, that is crazy. Now I did switch over and start eating meat a lot less, but I love to have my vegetables and stuff like that, and fruits, because I know that's putting life inside me. So I definitely like that point. And it definitely is a perspective shift for you, especially when you're thinking about like how you like if you're working on projects, and like you said, what you eat is producing who you are.
Right.
You know, if you putting a bunch of death into you, like how you gonna create life? How you gonna
Exactly.
create momentum in your life? So I like that idea for sure. My next question is, what's one thing about your industry that almost no other person in your industry agrees with you with?
Well, our diet plan that's followed through our governments. When I get to talking, I do butt heads with a lot of vegans. I butt heads with a lot of health freaks. I butt heads with a lot of Dr. Sabies. I'm here for it. I'm here for all the smoke. You see what I'm saying?
So all right, let's speak on that. Like, is there something specific about Dr. Sabi's teaching that you feel is not maybe beneficial?
It was a great starter point. But just like science, just like technology,
It evolves.
That's all. That's all I would be arguing. People just say, only eat the Dr. Sabi. That was X amount of years ago. You're telling me one food list fits every black person in America. That come in. Most of us are either indigenous to America, and a couple portion is from Africa. And you got to see exactly.
You said a couple of us.
Yes, you see.
Go ahead.
That's what I'm saying. So like when you look at that and you look at that actual food list, it's like it has to be more strenuous to that. You're not getting all of everything. It was a great start. It was a great mass awakening.
And I can. That sounds respectable. I mean, that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? There's a starting point for everything, and I think that takes people, other leaders come in, and they like. What I found is that there's, God doesn't give us finished products, right? You know, He gave us a tree, and somebody looked at the tree and said, I could chop this tree down and turn it into some wood, and take that wood and build a house, and then somebody takes the house and makes it a home.
Right.
So nothing's ever finished. We always adding our spins and twists to it, making things better. That's what life is all about. So I like that, and I definitely would agree with that. So I mean, and I think that it's good. You're not a leader if you're not butting heads. Yes. If you just yes man and everybody and not agreeing everybody's in my best relationships and my best partnerships are the ones where we gotta fight over sometimes, but because we both care enough to get the right answer. We want the truth.
Right.
We want to do something. We want to solve whatever issue it is. And when you got a bunch of people just agreeing on everything, we ain't getting no advance nowhere. We ain't making no change.
But see, even with that's how you know it's really not that many health pillars inside of this industry when we're still looking back and praising somebody so long ago. And not saying not to, but there should be some new pillars, and it's not.
So, question with that part being said, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, he has a book, How to Eat to Live, or Living How to Eat. I forget how it goes, but it's basically from what I had started reading. I had stopped for no particular reason, but it's I believe he says, 1 meal a day, the right stuff, 1 meal a day will sustain you. Yes. Do you feel as though that's people are capable of doing that?
Yeah. So the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, a lot of this stuff comes from just there's some information from that. Not necessarily Muslim, because my tribe is based off of their traditions, but it's coming to exactly what our culture for people who is indigenous here to America. Because since we have no culture, it's getting back to that. Not saying that we are originally Muslims, whoever cares to believe that or not. Not saying the actual religion aspect of it, but the family structure and the communication and the culture and food, that's exactly our fitting. I know
Ain't nothing
people-
like them FOI brothers. Ain't nothing like them.
and people get like misconstrued Muslim, they think they're long beard Arabs and stuff. Nah, you gotta look at the traditional aspect. Like this year, like the last 3 years, I do Ramadan, but I don't practice the actual religious aspect of it. It's the practice of the shortest days during the year for the sun. You're eating for the solar celestial energy. You see what I'm saying? So you're building most of your energy through the day, and you break fast at nighttime. And these are the shorter periods of that of the year, so you can participate in that fast. So it's not a religious thing. I'm eating for the actual equinox and the actual celestial actual energy. So it's, we got to see exactly. It's not. We gotta break away from those mind construct things of religion and stuff.
And break fast. AKA breakfast. Why would you say it like that, Neville? Why would you say break fast? Tell me more about that.
I mean, you say like breaking the fast. I mean, of course, like breaking fast, like with that. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I have no clue. I mean, with breaking the fast.
That's literally what you're doing,
Isn't that
though.
the
Like
next
when
meal?
you sleep, we sleep. Well, you're supposed to sleep like 8 hours, blah blah blah. So, I believe I learned like during certain hours of the day, your body is rejuvenating its cells, and you shouldn't eat during that time. And then because you're not eating and your body is rejuvenating itself and healing, you're literally breaking a fast. That's where that word breakfast comes. And spelling and all that is a real thing. Spelling, root word is spell, but we will get into that another episode. But that has a lot to do with what your body does.
Yes, it's the can't get the correct pronunciation. I think it's Carsadian or Carzadian. It's a Circadian rhythm, I believe, and that's like where you get 12 o'clock is lunch, midnight, et cetera, et cetera. But just like the days on that certain time, your stomach is on that certain time too as well. That's why everyone exfoliates waste early in the morning. At 12, you're looking to getting the grumbling hungry. We don't really in the tribe and based off of just the sun. You're supposed to eat from 12 to 8 being the latest. 9, that's crucial time, but 8 really being the latest time you should eat during the day. Within that morning period should be that liquids. The only thing, if you do eat anything, needs to be light fruit because your body is still metabolizing, still breaking down the food, still pushing out waste. And that also goes with eating too late at night. Eating too late at night when your body starts that process. Now you understand why you up to 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. Your body's trying to stay up just to break everything down. You see what I'm saying?
And I think that was an interesting point that you mentioned because there's a guy that I follow for most of my like fitness and health stuff. His name is Mike Rashid. First of all, go follow him and check him out on Instagram. This guy is built like Hercules. He eats once a day. And when I heard him say that, I couldn't believe it. Like, how does he have the energy to work out the way he does? But he eats once a day. And the Gracie Diet book, they actually suggest that we eat, we spit out meals every 4.5 hours. No snacks, just water in between. And I thought that was something that's pretty much how I eat now. Like, I'm like 4.5 meals. I eat light meals, drink a lot of water, and try to avoid the snacks because they're not really necessary. It's just another calorie you picking up. And most of the time, these snacks ain't healthy. And there's nothing good about most of them. So definitely agree with that. We definitely should eat less. I think that's a easy solution to, like, if you don't know where to start, just start eating less. I think if you start eating less, you probably have a little bit benefit.
That's easier said than done, Raymond. That's way easier said than done. I think the discipline part is what a lot of us miss. I know I need more of it.
Well, see, even with the discipline part, a lot of the cravings come from like overproduction of parasites in the body. Like a lot of the stuff, we just be an over influx of parasites, and you think it's you wanting like Taco Bell at nighttime, but like it's a reason why they make those cartoons with the worm in the brain and it's controlling you. I think they did it on SpongeBob a couple of times like that, but like it's an actual analogy. Like these parasites and or worms, I forgot the actual syndrome, but they can go inside the brain. Sometimes they can go inside the eyelids. They can go into major different parts of the body and enforce certain type of ways. It's all a chemical aspect. If your body has high influx of salts, high influx of sugar, and that's actually what you're going to crave throughout your diet. So breaking that and cutting that down is like weeding yourself off drugs for real.
I'm nervous
And
as hell because I've been feeding donuts for the past couple days.
It's crazy that you said that specifically because I'm meditating this morning, and and I'll just go ahead and be honest. I'm a very vulnerable person. Like I believe that I've been struggled with the addiction of weed and sex in my life. And when I be completely honest about it, neither one of them served me that much.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I got my 3 kids from sex, obviously, and that has been they're the best relationship I have in my life. I'm grateful for that. But outside of that, sex has not benefited me in any way, form, or fashion.
Right.
Not really. It's been just a pleasurable experience. Yeah, you
Right,
know,
right,
some
right,
you know what I'm saying. But realistically, it's a transfer of energy that could be used for something much greater. So it's not really benefiting. And then marijuana, it's a good feeling. And sometimes I get some creative, juices, and they come flowing. I can't lie. I'll be honest with you. This podcast might be, this might have got started. You know what I'm saying? Might not have got started without the idea. And I'll give it some credit for that because I do try to find the good that does. Because sometimes I just get jolts of energy and I can work a whole day. It's good things and bad. But for the most part, I know that it's not positively impacting my life.
Yes.
And I wanted you to kind of talk on that because I know if you're from Baltimore, you can get it's not a corner you can go on and find some
gas station.
weed, I know it's on its way to being legal here, but like
Let me bust it.
in your experience and in your knowledge, I just want to get the truth. Is it detrimental to our health, or is it one of those things where it's like everything in moderation, kind of like drinking?
We currently, how we use it is detrimental to our health. When you light weed, it changes the whole chemical compound, so it's not even weed anymore as far as when you actually turn that fire to it. It loses the acid, so it's pure THCA. It's the same acid that's kind of similar to like LSD. That's why when you eat edibles at a high rate, you can trip. People start freaking out and stuff
God,
like
Lord
that.
knows I had one of
But
them.
it's not even in that
I had one
aspect
since.
of like that. It's more so the weed elevates the heart. The weed suppresses the diet. You notice after a while you can't stop. You can't even eat without smoking a blunt. So
I
it's
wish
like,
I experienced
my
that. I
God.
wish.
You see
I
what I'm
wish.
saying?
That is so crazy
Yeah,
that you
so
say that,
like-
because that's where I found myself, and I start making it my crutch.
Mhm.
I'm doing this so I can eat because it would help me get my appetite.
Exactly.
But really, I noticed that the difference in my ability to build muscle and strength and get the greatest workout comes from when I'm not using it.
So weed actually takes, like, imagine, don't you know how the muscle constricts and it starts to calcify after you work out? Now when you smoke a blunt, what do you think happens? The muscle starts to become smooth and tender. So that workout you just did is null and void. Like literally.
So
Like-
don't spark the blunt when you leave the gym.
I mean, it's like-
Do not spark the blunt.
but like, I'm not saying like you can still see results, but if you're looking to gain mass muscles, it's harder. You see what I'm saying? Now,
So
if you-
it definitely it doesn't. It's not helping you. It's not, and then nobody can say that. Hey, I'm hitting this blunt before I work out to help me with the gains. Not saying that you won't get some results on somebody, because I've definitely gotten results regardless. But where could I be had I
just
had
put
I
it
not
down.
moved?
You
Just
see what I'm
putting it
saying?
down. Exactly.
Now CBD. Now we both know that THCA, CBDA, the mother flower is CBG. That's where all the whole construct comes from. But the CBD, or having balanced weed with CBD and THC, that's kind of what you want, because the CBD helps with the anti-inflammatories. It helps with the mineral composites in the body, stress. It helps with it also from the CBD, it derives, you can smoke it, you can put it in tea form, oil form, and you're not getting the negative compounds of the weed. It's not making you paranoid. It's actually increasing your appetite. It's actually breaking down the inflammation, even though weed does help with pain, but you're looking for something to sustain that, not a drug that you have to keep on taking to help with pain. CBD is the one that's going to actually break down the inflammation so you can sustain yourself. So it's kind of a battle with CBD and THC, but if you're going to do it, you might as well have it balanced. The whole idea of just getting high, I don't really see the medical, benefits of that.
It's a bad habit that I think that we're all really influenced by our environment. I think I was maybe 12 years old the first time I got some weed in my hand. And that's just ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? Not old enough to really make a wise decision. You know what I'm saying? So it becomes something. It's, at this point, it's something that I've been doing longer than I wasn't doing it. You know what I mean? So I'm not sitting here telling you guys to stop. I'm not here to be that guy. That's not my thing. We all got to take responsibility for our own health. You got to be your own doctor to some degree and make decisions that is best for you. I'm just here just to share the truth and just find some
Yeah.
some resources for everybody.
If you're going to use it, eat it. I say eat it. Cook with it. Make pancakes with it. Make whatever you want with it. You know, get it digested in that notion. You notice it's healthier. You figure when you put it in the butter from oil form, you have a longer high with no smoke, and it's digestible inside the system. So it works with the system. You're not having to change the actual chemical
Does
compulsion.
it mess with the heart when
No,
you eat it?
actually slows the heart rate down. Now, if you overdose on it, it will speed the heart up, just like you smoking a blunt.
Yeah.
It will have those negative effects. So that's why, again, if you go to Netflix and you watch like those cooking shows with weed, they're normally cooking with THC and CBD. As a
CBD.
balance.
I'm a big fan of CBD.
Yeah.
I haven't used it much lately, but when I started growing my hair, uh, when a girl had some hair products with CBD oil, my hair started growing so fast. I mean, I'm trying to. I went from having a little, no hang time. Boy, I threw that joint in there. So I got my hair braided. I was doing, woo! Let's go CBD. Let's do
That's
it.
how you do it,
We
man.
wrapping up here. We got a few minutes left. Just a couple more questions. Is there what's a question? Oh no! First of all, before I read for our listeners, for our audience,
Right.
can we suggest a book, or do you have a book or some book that they can go to for health? Something like the Bible for health.
Yes, there's a book produced by Ali Muhammad called The Black Biology that gives you a whole basis on the chemical position of a black melanin being and exactly what they should be eating, their right amount of calories, etc., all the way down to just like more original information just on our carbonated diet. So it
The
kinda,
Black Biology.
Black Biology, and I can I'll send you that link. Just in
Cool.
case
We're
anybody
gonna
has
drop that link in the description for y'all. I'm gonna get the book. Y'all suggest y'all get the book. Let's read the book, and then on the next episode we'll talk about some stuff that we had that we learned from the book. And then, is there a question that I didn't ask that you wish I would have asked?
Let's see here. The question I can say the water. The water,
Yes, we didn't talk about water. All right, we know Baltimore got some trifling water now, y'all. Be careful. Look, we got a shower, but I done heard some crazy stories already about this water, and it's a little scary, to be honest with you, because it's not looking good for us. You know what I mean? And I'm sure if y'all haven't been living under a rock, you've heard the stories about Flint, Michigan, and all the crazy stuff.
Flint still doesn't have any clean water, by the way.
Still to this day. I mean, it's going on for a while.
Very long
and
time.
It's looking like we're headed in that kind of direction.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Unfortunately.
Alkaline Bodies has its own water. It's called Alkaline Drip. Talk to us about that.
Alkaline Drip is local. It's produced here in Baltimore.
Shout out to Baltimore, Alkaline Drip.
We get it from a family well. Has 3 wells. Is able to produce 50 million gallons a year. So we are not running out of water no time soon. And especially about the water. The water is naturally pH at a 8.6. That's from the well to the bottle, with no added chemicals and no added electrolytes. It's fully carbonated. When you shine our water up to the light, it's filled with bubbles. It's full with carbon.
I wish we had some here. I
Yeah.
tasted the water. First of all, it is delicious. It's it goes smooth. You know what I mean? I'm very picky about the water that I drink. But you ever grabbed a bottle of water and it was foggy? You ever had one of
Yes,
them?
indeed.
Boy, you gotta put that water down. This water you can see straight through the bottle. It's clear as it can be, and it's smooth. It tastes good. I was very proud of it, and it was one of the reasons why I said, bro, let's lock in. Like, I'm ready to go. You know what I'm saying? Because water is we made of water. Water is the most powerful. Water is abundance. Water is so important. We got to drink more of it, and we're going to solve this problem. I don't know how we're going to do it, but we got to start here. So we will be making that water available to the listeners. Stay tuned as we solve some of the processes and get the systems work together to get the water to you guys. But before we go, talk to us about this box we got here.
All right here. This is our alkaline wellness box. We'll be dropping this soon. Well, it's actually dropped now. What it is a health box. It's a health starter kit box. So when a person gets it, they'll have their essentials, their cosmetic products, all the way down to their health products. So it can be anywhere from energy pills, sea moss, herbal teas for digestion, liver detox, cosmetics from toothpaste, soap, deodorant, sage. We also put stones in there for people who's into those type of things. Of course, I'm rocking mine now, as you see. But yeah, we give it a full all-around health box. It's a health starter box, so a person be able to start this and their essentials for their house toothpaste, deodorant, the little small knickknacks that's not really covered, but it's major because the type of toothpaste, deodorant, soap that you're using, it plays a huge factor in your body, especially when we hook you up to the dial scan and we see that the skin collagen is low. We see moisture index is high, horniness index is high. A lot of these things be high in the body. And first thing I ask is how much water are you drinking and what the hell are you using on your skin? You see what I'm saying? So it's, we just try to give the essentials to our customers. So we will be getting this out to them.
So hold on, quick question. I got a quick question. Yeah, so as far as lost my train of thought. For the water, you talking about water and how it changes. I lost my train of thought that fast. That was a good
get
question.
It back.
Keep talking. I'm gonna find it.
All right. Well, let me see the box real quick.
There we go. Hold on. I'm sorry. It's there.
Yeah.
So, have you worked with cancer patients?
Yeah. Anybody from like stage 1 to 3 will accept. Stage 4, I don't say we won't accept, but it's like it gets kind of hard when it's stage 4. You gotta kind of like prep for like hospice and stuff like that. But it was definitely like stage 1, stage 2. Let's go.
Gotcha. And have you seen results from it?
Yeah. We've definitely seen results.
Awesome.
A lot of the stuff, even down like when I said earlier about the girls and their PMS and their periods, I've had a group of girls on a 30-day detox. They all started free bleeding at the same time, and they got their periods down to 3 days, and 2 of them had mucilage, so it was clear mucus coming out, and the other couple girls had light spotting. So, a lot of stuff, anything I talk about, I test and I done done.
No cap in this.
Cap over here.
We're going to share some of these stories. Since now that me and him are officially partnering, the stories that we actually the customers, we're going to have them if they're willing to share their stories. We're going to get these testimonies out to y'all. But we're going to make this box available. It'll be available at Alkaline Bodies.
Yes, alkalinebodies.org.
Alkalinebodies.org will also be a sales channel on my website somewhere. But we're going to make sure everybody in the community has one of these. We'll share. This is going to be big. Just to make sure that we're using products that we can trust. I really enjoyed this episode, man. I learned a lot. I learned a ton. A couple things I want to give you guys. If you go, sleep is very, very important. There's a sleep doctor. Don't even know his name. Don't even have his name. But if I'm going to drop the link in there. I think his name is Dr. Bruce. There's a quiz that you can take to find out your chronotype and when's the best time for you to sleep, how much sleep you should be getting, when are you most effective during the day. What times to take in caffeine if you need it, and it's all this stuff is really important, especially as we talk about being a dynamic and effective human being in this new year. And then second, if you go to YaleUniversity.com, they have a free course. It's called The Science of Well-Being, and this is not just your physical health, but this is your emotional health, your mental health. It's very, very important. We're going to touch on all topics of health, not just physical, but your emotional and your mental health as well. So the Science of Wellbeing, it's a free course. If you ever wanted to go to Yale, I used to live not like down a block from there in Connecticut. But if you wanted to ever go to Yale, now you can for free. All right, go to Yale.com and you can get that course. Man, it's been a pleasure.
Yeah, man, I appreciate it.
I learned a lot, man. You killed it. First of all, there's some great questions.
Thank
it was just natural. You feel me? So appreciate y'all for watching. Y'all know y'all can catch us on Spotify, YouTube, all the major platforms. Please leave a comment, subscribe on YouTube, leave a comment. We want to hear from you guys, give your feedback. Definitely appreciate it. Real quick, let them know where they can find you.
You can find me at alkalinebodies.org. I'm your neighborhood health dealer / doctor.
All right. And don't forget, follow, subscribe to our co-host, Emon.
D9 Studios, where you can find me, THEE, the number 9 studio on Instagram and on Facebook.
And in every single episode, I'm going to remind y'all that your contribution to people who you'll never meet is the most important thing that you can do. Find a way to be a blessing to somebody who can never repay you. You can do that at RaymondQuick.com. At Quick to Give, we have an anonymous giving platform where we literally just bless people and we don't get any credit from it. We make sure that they have no idea that it came from us. And you can go to BaltimoreHungerProject.com. As a matter of fact, if you go on there today, they have a calendar that you can subscribe to be able to volunteer, or you can donate for those of you who don't have the time. As always, thanks for listening. I'm Raymond Quick, your host. We enjoyed having you guys on this episode, Rich Mob Podcast, episode 6, all about health. Y'all take it easy. Thanks for listening to the Rich Mob Podcast, where we define what rich is. Our goal was to help enrich the health, wealth, and relationship of our subscribers today, and we hope we did just that with this episode. As always, subscribe and share if you got value from this episode.